What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the boxing shop. It's your boy King Felix G. Ray, how's it going, bro?
Hey man, another week. We're here, doing good, no complaints.
Yes, sir. Another week. Dakota's out. He'll be back soon, or he'll be on Friday night. You'll see him eventually around here. But yeah, man. I mean, it was a slow August, September. We got a good card with Canelo, and then things are kind of slow again. This past weekend, it's kind of mid. Nothing too exciting that went on. What was the biggest standout for you?
The biggest standout was probably Tszyu. I think going into the week, Tszyu was kind of the one to watch. So yeah, I would say that fight was the big one. And then if you like entertainment, the ending of the Logan Paul Dylan Danis fight. You wouldn't even call that boxing, but I mean that was entertaining, I guess.
Yeah, that I didn't watch the whole fight, but I saw the clip and definitely looked like Logan. I mean, he tried hitting him while he was down. There's no denying that. But everything else that happened after that, it just erupted like instantly. That was crazy.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, I mean, not that it was hard to pick, but I was picking Logan Paul by DQ, which is what happened. I mean, it's not real boxing, right? Like, and I think if you understand that going into it, then you'll be more open to it. I know Dakota's our guy, and he always gets mad or he nibs. Oh, I'm not watching it. Like, bro, know what you're watching, right? Like, when I watch WWE, I'm not looking for the best jiu-jitsu guy out there, right? I'm like you understand what you're watching.
Right.
And I think Logan Paul's a hell of an entertainer. And yeah, he tried to throw Dylan Danis tried to throw the choke at the end. Logan Paul slipped out, threw a little hammer fist, and yeah, everything erupted. But I thought it was cool, man. The fight sucked for the all the rounds leading up to that.
What round did that happen? Was that like the fourth or fifth?
I think it was a 6-round fight, and I think that was the last round, whatever that is.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that was 6. Was Logan winning up until that point?
Oh yeah, easy. I think the other dude might have landed like 10 punches. He this might be a little blasphemous to boxing fans, but Dylan Danis had the old winky right style. Like he was just covering up.
I see.
I mean, Winky's obviously a world champ, and he worked off of that. Dylan Danis didn't work off that. He was just covering up, trying not to get knocked out for the whole fight.
It doesn't sound like something you want to watch back, but I do remember Nibs in the chat was saying that he had Dylan ahead.
Did he?
If you go back into the group chat, you'll see he had Dylan ahead. So I was curious.
Oh, that's wild, bro. I need to go back and I must have missed that part of the conversation.
Yeah.
No, bro. I'm telling you, he probably landed. I'm not giving him 20 punches.
Jeez.
And Logan was chasing him, and I mean, we've seen Logan right against Floyd. Yeah. I mean, and he's athletic, right? He's an athlete. So yeah, I thought. I mean, he was throwing jabs, hooks, 1-2s. Nibs is crazy if he thought Dylan Danis in that fight.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit that. Hey, speaking of revisiting real quick, I wanted to I meant to talk about it last week. Slipped my mind. I don't know why, but real quick, wanted to run down. I missed the card out here in Arizona, the Iron Boy card. I was a little tied up. Soccer is taking over my life right now. But shout out to from the program, Joseph Rivas, picked up a first-round knockout. Connor Goad, who was also on the program before, he picked up a 4-round decision. Shout out Nick Johnson, Trini Ochoa. Those were the guys that I've worked with. There's another Elias was supposed to fight on that card as well. He wasn't on there, but shout out to everybody I mentioned right there. We got an episode of The Fight Life with Joseph Rivas coming soon. I'm gonna have to link up with him again and do some more filming pretty soon. But hey, shout out to them. They all picked up victories this past weekend, man. Good.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys getting in the ring, man. We've kind of been following not their whole. Well, they are
Yeah.
early in their careers, and especially Connor, like just getting in the ring, like right, like the last time we had him, it was the week of the fight, and then the fight got called.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for those guys. Congrats on your win, and I'm sure it felt good for them just to, like I said, step in the ring and actually fight.
And then it's all about being active too. When we had Joseph Rivas on our program, he was 2-1, and he's 5-1 now, and that was not that long ago. So I mean,
Yeah.
bro's staying active, and I think he's got another fight in December too, which I'll definitely be out there for that one. But hey, shout out to all the Arizona family, and Barrio Brewing got you on the radar. You'll be hearing from us pretty soon. But yeah, take us into the next segment there, Ray.
Well, hey, after that fight, I mean, did you catch the Fury KSI fight?
I did. Oh, bro, I forgot about that too. I did not see that one. Tell me about that. Give that one a breakdown. So, again,
Bro, that one was bad too, man.
Over my life, man. Soccer is taking over my life. I missed all of this. Tell me about it.
I mean, you really did it. Like I said, no, you have to know what you're about to see. Like for a boxing fan, bro, that fight drove me crazy. Like, I respect the Furies. I think Tyson Fury is arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time, and this is the brother. So you think, oh man, it's just so amateurish, bro. Like, it's like one punch hold, one punch hold. It was really ugly, but Tommy Fury won. Yeah, not much else to say. I guess it was controversial. The zone guys, the zone was being the zone, saying how KSI won. I'm like, yeah, man, no, he didn't. I didn't think he was close to winning. But yeah, Tommy Fury won. I think he said he wants to get away from that and get into, what we expect from boxers, but I don't think he's good enough, man. I don't.
I don't think so either. I mean, he shares the last name and the blood, but he doesn't have the Fury fighter gene in his DNA. I don't think at all.
No, I mean, and really, man, I don't think he needs it, right? Like
he don't.
Right, bro. I mean, granted, if he were to fight at 200, we saw what Zudo Ramirez was doing. So, Tommy's probably at that level. Like, I mean, if there was a weight for him to be at where there's no competition, he's there. But I just don't think, like I said, it was a spectacle, but it wasn't even an entertaining one. But it was a little warm up before we moved later into the night when we got the Top Rank and Showtime cards.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we're gonna, shout out to everybody in the comments. What's up, Nancy? Good to see you here as always. Jesus, again, we're gonna touch on this too because this is an interesting take because I did see some people online.
Whoa.
See, I did see some people online. I mean, we could get into it right now since that was the big one.
Let's do it.
There was a lot of people online that had Mendoza winning. Even Jack for a minute was like, Mendoza's performing well. And I know a lot of people over on
That's
Twitter.
crazy,
Yes, 1 through 4. Tim wasn't doing anything. See,
maybe I was a prisoner of the moment. I didn't think Mendoza won. He gave him 4 rounds? I don't think Mendoza won 4 minutes of that fight. And that's not hating on Mendoza.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No, I'm not trying to hate on Mendoza at all. Like, bro, the chin that he showed, like, that was almost an all-time great chin exhibit right there, bro. He was taking everything Tszyu could throw. And you kind of like, at least me, like, you like that in a fighter, like when they're hurt, they're more dangerous. Like, he's trying to go out on his shield, but his chin's just so good that, bro, he's gonna catch you with something, and you're probably not gonna knock him out. I thought Mendoza put up a good showing for himself. Like, I want to see him again and all that, but I don't think he was anywhere close to winning that fight.
Yeah, no. I mean, I do think that the first few rounds were a little close. I had it after the 5th round is when it was nothing but all Tim for me. I think there was like one more round that I gave to Mendoza, maybe the 11th or 12th. But I mean, At most, I have Mendoza winning 4 rounds. At most, but that was definitely a Tszyu fight. But again,
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you, as probably 11th, 10th, 11th, or whatever. I'm like, bro, they need to stop the fight. Like, man,
yeah,
it was too tough for his own good, and Tszyu's teeing off on him. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to rewatch rounds 1 through 4. Jesus is saying. At the end of the day, though, man, it didn't matter. I think we saw Tszyu's the better fighter. Tszyu is probably going to be a legit draw when he comes over to the States, which he says he plans to do. And man, I think he's probably one of my favorite closers. Like, I know he didn't close the fight, but the way he goes for it's almost I compare it to Crawford. You know, when Crawford has someone hurt and just the accuracy and how he goes, that killer instinct. I think Tszyu's got that, man. And like I said, those uppercuts he was throwing, just trying to get him out of there. Once that switch turns to end the fight, man, I think he's probably my favorite one doing it right now.
yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you, and I saw a lot of improvements. We didn't see much from his last fight. It was 1 round. But from what I've seen in him before, I saw a lot of improvements in this fight with Mendoza here. He's shown a lot of different tricks to his arsenal now. The way he moves, like there's a whole lot more that he's improved on. I'm not sure who's working with him exactly, but they're doing a hell of a job, and he's coming along fine. And he's next to Charlo. He's probably definitely number 2 at 154. There's a lot of stiff competition there for sure. But I mean, he's shown us a lot, man, and he's super impressive, and he's got Australia on his side big time.
Yeah, the past couple weeks, I was saying how Lubin and Ramos, might be the best in the division. After that, I test. I think I'm going Tszyu, bro. Like, after that fight, I'm gonna have to see him get beat. Not that those guys are gonna get washed or whatever, but like I said, man, his game plan, just the punches he throws, and then once he knows that he has you, he goes for it, right? And Mendoza made it entertaining because if you go for it, he's going to come back. But even towards the end, man, I thought that fight could have been stopped a couple times. But yeah, Tszyu really showed it. Post-fight, man, I really I guess he's kind of a likable guy too, right? Like,
yeah,
for boxing fans, he kind of knows where he is. He wants to come to the States, wants to fight in Vegas. He, even gave props to Canelo, gave props to Charlo. So yeah, but I think that's kind of everything you want to see in a fighter, at least from like a marketing standpoint. And then in the ring, he has the skills. I'm looking forward to his next fight, whoever that may be.
Yeah, and then I saw somebody earlier too online. They mentioned, I forgot who it is. I wish I could.
That last comment, you could throw that on there because that's true, bro.
Yeah. Without a doubt, he's definitely growing.
Like just this year, right? When the fight was supposed to be with Charlo at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
At that point, I think I was, man, he's not ready. Charlo's got this.
Exactly. That's it.
And then,
like that.
Yeah, and then like the next fight, and then you see what he does to Harrison, and then, just to what Mendoza. Like, props to Mendoza, bro. That chin, crazy, but what Tszyu was still able to do to him, and like Tszyu had him hurt, like Tszyu was going for it. I think that just speaks to the toughness of Mendoza. But yeah, Tszyu for real looks better every time, and like now, I still don't think Charlo gets down to 54. So I don't really know about that, but I'm not just picking Terrence Crawford over Tszyu.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
I mean, that's actually like a great fight because I talked about how when they have their guys hurt and they go for it. Oh man, that's a really good fight. But at one point I think we were kind of thinking, if especially with Spence, Spence goes to 154, he could clean up there. Nah, Spence, at least that Spence we saw, he's not doing anything to Tszyu. And I don't know if Crawford does either. I think that's the fight. That's a really good fight.
It is, without a doubt. I would love to see that. I want him to get that Charlo fight because he's been he's been chasing it for so
He's been
long.
so close too, close to it.
So close, and I think he needs that. And the thing that I saw earlier online was that somebody said Tszyu deserves to be in conversation for Fighter of the Year because he decided to take on the best fights without waiting around for Charlo, and he did 3 times too. Mm-hmm. Not too many guys fought 3 times this year, but he did, and he didn't have to because he has a shoe-in against Charlo whenever he returns pretty much too. So the fact that he took 3 risky fights at that too, I mean, I don't really think he's in consideration for Fighter of the Year, but what he's done this year deserves recognition without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and look at it. When you give these year-long awards, it's real easy to forget someone or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the activity. You gotta love it. And then, like I said, man, for me, we're over here in America. We think and we're biased or whatever, but to me, like, if you're not fighting over here, you ain't the guy, right? And a lot of the guys that are on foreign countries, like Tszyu could stay in Australia, bro. He could probably stay there, make a great career, be the man over there.
Right.
And
do that Anthony Joshua thing.
For him to have in his mind, like, all right, hey, Australia, I love you, but I'm going over there to fight in Vegas. Man, I don't know. Maybe that's what really won me over. I'm like, okay, this dude's about it. So,
right.
Yeah, love to see it.
Yeah, I'm with that too, because he can make a ton of money just doing what Anthony Joshua does, or Cal Brook, or Amir Khan. Like, I mean, and we all know those overseas fan bases, when you become a star and you got the following, they're there for the rest of your career. They're going to follow you to the end. Ricky Hatton, I mean, Cal Brook and Amir Khan, you know, those dudes.
I mean, just recently, Kambosos, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, the fellow countryman right there. Perfect example.
Yeah, like Kambosos was like, all right, I have the belt, and, you know, Haney had to go over there twice. Like, Kambosos wasn't in no rush, like, oh, okay, I'm going to go beat everybody over there. No, and Tszyu's kind of chasing that, and that's what I like.
Yeah, no, with that, barring Crawford, Charlo, who should he fight? If Crawford and Charlo fight, I want to see Tszyu and Erickson Lubin. Let's let them slug it out.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that. There's fights there, right? So, I think 54 has it. Let's say he even wants to come over to America and get maybe. I mean, not that it would even be a soft touch, but because of his style and all his intangibles, him and Fundora is a fun fight.
Oh yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Like, I know Mendoza knocked him out, and he just beat Mendoza, but Fundora was winning that fight. And just to see kind of like what that would look like, you know, of course, I mean, I think even you said Lubin, yeah, he won his last fight, but a lot of people think Ramos won. Shoot, I'm sure Ramos would take, like, there are names at 54 to have some good fights.
And I was going to say that too. The thing about 154 right now is, look at Lubin and Fundora. They've taken losses, even Mendoza, but we still want to see them all within the same circle of guys fighting each other still. Somebody's obviously got to lose. They can't all stay undefeated as they fight each other. But within that circle, I want to see them all fight. I don't care if Fundora has a tune-up. I would love to see him fight Tszyu next month. You know what I mean? Like, I would love that. And I don't think it's going to be any less of a fight than before his loss either. I think Lubin would be great.
It's because they all kind of bring different, especially Fundora. Like, not everybody is going to be able to do what Mendoza did, right? You wouldn't think, like, because Mendoza took a lot of damage in that fight too. So not everybody's got Mendoza's chin. So that's what makes these things all interesting. That kind of throws away the triangle theory. He beat him. I don't think it works like that, especially at 154 right now with these guys that we're throwing out. I think it's like on any given day, you know, they could put up a better fight than the next guy.
Right.
But, you know, maybe I'm prisoner of the moment since I just seen him fight. But shoot, Tszyu really shot up the 154 rankings to me.
And let's not forget, I mean, Castaño's still around there somewhere. You know what I mean? There's still, of course, Charlo. If Spence moves up, if Crawford moves up, I mean, 154 is definitely.
If Virgil Ortiz is alive, like, right? Like, where's he at? Like, Yeah, he was top guy. He can't make 47, so where does he fit in at 154? Right, like he's got a lot of
Yeah.
power. Does that translate to the next weight division? I don't know. I think there's a lot of good fights to be made, and it seems like the guys in this division are down to make the fights happen. And we've seen it, right? Like Lubin Ramos just happened. I couldn't. That's not the first fight that I would have picked to happen for two young guys, but I'm glad we got it. But years past, that's probably not a fight we get right away. Danny Garcia, that's my guy. I don't know if he wants to see Tszyu. But shoot, yeah, like there are names out there.
Yeah. There's definitely a ton. Yeah, Charles Conwell's another one. There's a lot of names, and then of course we got the young up and comers. I mean, when is what's the young Puerto Rican kid top rank? Xander. When is he going to get his chance? I mean, he's got to be on the cusp. It's got to be soon. You know what I mean?
There's no easy maneuvering.
There isn't
for him.
Yeah. Nah. And the thing that I loved about it, I mean, still, I guess minus one title, is that there was a kingpin throughout all these top fighters and great fights to be made. There was one king of the hill, and that was Jermell Charlo. Still kind of is. I mean, he's got a WBO title. They've got a score to settle to, see who's the kingpin still there. But that's what I love about this division. It's so fun and exciting to me.
Yeah, even guys like we talked about coming off losses. Like, granted, he got washed, but you talk about Xander, like, bro, I wouldn't mind Xander and a Joey Spencer. Like,
bro, yes, give me that. Like, hell yeah, sign me up. And then,
like, I mean, I know there's promotional whatever, and maybe that's not likely, but I'm just saying, like, if you're moving up these weight classes, there's like at least 10 guys that have names and are talented fighters,
right?
Which you don't always see, right? Like, the talent might be there, but no one really knows who a lot of these guys are at the bottom half of the rankings. 54 has names.
It does. It's got enough to fill up an entire top 10 with like, damn, I don't know.
I mean, Jesus is throwing out names too that I can't pronounce, but like like the talent there right now is crazy.
I'm gonna run through these. It seems like you guys can see. Well, I'm sure you guys can see if you're watching. Just look in the comments. Nothing but a bunch of. I mean, there's not one American name there, so I'll just say that. But another fight I would like to see is let's go ahead and run it back. I mean, they both. Granted, I still think Jesus won that fight, but let's get it. Let's get the rematch. Let's get Ramos and Mendoza too. I think that fight makes perfect sense right now, and it could be on the same card as Lubin and Tszyu. I think that would be a perfect setup. I mean, those four could just round robin.
Oh yeah, bro, mix up those names. Like I said, I'm curious to see what Fundora's plans are. Yeah, he got knocked out, ugly knockout, but just the things he brings, it's not going to be easy for everybody.
I mean, give me I'm sure Jesus Ramos would love it. Fundora, Jesus Ramos. I would love that fight too. That would be fun.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And like, bro, Danny Garcia, I see him training sometimes. We've heard of him coming back. At 154, honestly, bro, he might skip 54, maybe to go to 60, because it might be an easier road there.
Like, yeah. And then
you know what I mean? Like, because 54 I feel has like a lot of young hitters, like young dudes, not superstars yet, but they're all talented. We've seen them on TV where 60, Erislandy, the bigger guys, and even kind of maybe bigger names, but probably easier fights.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lara, I mean, he still has the title at middleweight too, and I know him and Danny. I guess it's still in talks or in the works. I don't know what's up with that. It's definitely a weird situation, but if Danny gets that title, I think that's a winnable fight for him against Lara for sure. If that happens.
Yeah, bro, I think 160 is pretty weak. Like,
yeah,
Munguia's there, right? Like Munguia, I guess Charlo there, who hasn't fought in forever. Jose Benavidez, I guess. I just think right now there's more going on at 54 than 60.
Oh yeah, for sure. 60 is wide open for the taking. That's why everything is kind of scattered around to the belts and whatnot. But 54, it's so fun, man. I want to see some more fights. I mean, let us get Castaño and Mendoza. I mean, that would be fun too. I mean, there's just a ton. Castaño and Lubin would be fun. There's so many good ass fights at this weight class. It's just.
And I think what gives me hope is that, like I said, man, these guys want to fight, and they've shown that, right? Like,
yeah,
Joey Spencer, Jesus Ramos, like early 20s guys, undefeated, fought each other.
Yep.
Lubin Ramos, like Fundora fighting Mendoza, like Mendoza will fight anybody. So I mean, it's just when guys want to fight each other, that makes sport. That's what's great about the sport,
right? And I mean, all those guys minus Xander, they're with PBC. I mean, if we could get Xander off of Top Rank, which I think would not hurt him at all, it would help him probably. Because I think he's being babied with Top Rank.
I think he needs to be babied, though.
You see, I don't know. I think that's how I feel about Keyshawn too. I mean, we'll get into that. I mean, now we might as well. But that's what we've talked about before. Is Top Rank? They do a great job with their matchmaking, but when is too much? Because eventually they're going to have to really get tested, and they're in these winnable fights against guys that aren't necessarily tomato cans, but they're still winnable fights for them. And that's all Top Rank feeds them. So if you're never in a 50-50 fight, you never, iron sharpens iron. They're never in that kind of a fight. You know what I mean? So Xander going to PBC would be dope.
I mean, but I feel like I can't go too hard because that was kind of always my knock on Crawford, and then Crawford washed Errol Spence.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I feel you. I mean, let's go to the Top Rank card, right? And we got kind of just that. We got Richard Torres, who won in 90 seconds. We talked about that last week. Like, bro, why is he fighting the level of fighter that he's fighting? And sure enough, he goes out and wins in 90 seconds. Am I supposed to be impressed by that? Like, we kind of all saw that coming. Yep, Richard Torres, perfect example right there. And it's like, why? And then we go, I mean, that whole card, Keyshawn was in against Wu. Like, he's supposed to win that fight. And, he's having such an easy time. So you would think, and then towards the end of the fight, he gets caught with something big and, kind of proceeds to kind of run and be on the run for the last couple rounds. So, like, does that set him back? Like, that's the thing. Like, does he fight to his level of competition? I just like to see him in there with better people. Even Janabek, right? Like, it was a unification bout, but that fight was a mismatch.
It was.
I mean, you can't hate on that, though. I should say you can't hate on that. It was a unification, legit world titles. But I didn't come off of that fight thinking Janabek's the guy, right? I'm like, oh, okay, he fought a guy that I don't know how he got this belt. I mean, he picked it up vacant, of course, but you just kind of always left wanting more, at least me, when I see Top Rank cards.
Yeah, it is that Top Rank, you're going to see their guys show out every single time. And that's the thing with PBC is you're going to see two guys show out because they're matching their two dudes. That's the other thing about Top Rank is they don't really match their A-side fighters up against each other very often, even if they are in the same weight class. And I forgot about that undercard. I mean, there was also Guido was on there, fought Curtis Harper, right? Yeah, Guido Vianello fought Curtis Harper. I just looked it up right now. Unanimous decision. I don't know what's up with Curtis. Looks like he didn't win a single round. Giovanni Marquez got picked up another victory. I guess he's going to get the Top Rank
push. But yeah, I mean,
the same thing that we talked about with Xander and Keyshawn and all these guys. Top Rank puts this locomotive behind them, but it's a great. They build their fighters up in a great way, but at the same time, it still hurts them because they're not really in the trenches with other fighters the way we see in PBC.
I guess my complaint would be like all right, man, I've seen these guys on TV now for 2 years on big platforms, and they're still not like a Xander, still not pushing for the belt. Richard Torres was an Olympian, and he's still fighting guys that he's getting out of there in 90 seconds. And it'd be one thing if we were like, oh, we were expecting a close fight. Nah, I think we called this last week. Why is he fighting these guys? So it just, just really stretches out the fan. Like, why am I having to watch this guy fight guys that he's so much better than? So I don't know. But the Keyshawn fight was interesting, bro. I think it was in the end of the 8th. He got cracked. And he kind of fell into his opponent. The bell rang. And then the last 2 rounds, he was fighting smart, whatever. And Tim Bradley and I don't know who else was calling the fight were like, oh, Keyshawn doesn't feel well. He must be sick. I'm like, no, bro. He got hit. He got hit in the last round, and he's surviving right now. Bro, it was making me so mad that they were like, he doesn't look like himself. I don't, he's probably sick. It's like, bro, did you just miss this dude catch a flush punch to his jaw? Keyshawn's obviously talented, but, so when he's in a fight like that and there are some hiccups, it just makes me think, all right, man, now how long? Now he's going to get more of these fights, and to me, that really sucks.
Yeah, I'm with that too. And that's that top rank machine that we talked about.
It's smart though. I mean, they're probably the best in the business. So you can't really blame them.
Yeah. And we're gonna circle back to that Shakur comment, but this is funny. I wanted to point this out real quick. Tito Mercado claimed Keyshawn as a weak chin. Hey man, we'll see if that's the case.
And I think it was tested, and obviously he doesn't have let's give him his credit from this past week. He doesn't have a Brian Mendoza chin because he was rocked and he felt it, and and maybe that's why he's in the fights that he's in. Maybe they're bringing him along that area. But it's just unfortunate because now we'll probably see more of that, right? Let him get his confidence, because that had to take something away from the confidence. And, that's kind of what we guessed why Richard Torres was in with the kind of opponents he's in against. Because when he was in the world boxing, what is it? I forget the name of it, man, every time.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though.
It was the amateur pro. They didn't count on the records. It was kind of like team. And Richard Torres got knocked out.
Slept.
Right? Yes, slept. Didn't count on his record or any of that. But that happened. And that's probably the reason why he's being brought along to gain that confidence. It's just a long process. And I feel like he's too talented for that. But it's probably something like that, man. Like the chin's not there, and they're just rebuilding that. And if Keyshawn really was, he to me, I thought he was hurt. Having an end of the round, went to commercial, kind of not brought up again. But I probably now expect him to be in more, all right, let's get your confidence back up, rather than, challenging for a title or something. I guess a big puncher at least.
And it seems like that story happens a lot. We talk about the top rank machine. It seems like we see a lot of that happen where guys take a step back and they got to get their confidence back because they weren't what we thought they were. We saw that with Edgar Berlanga. We see with Richard Torres. We're going to probably see with Keyshawn Davis here. And we have seen it. I mean, kind of like, we're seeing him fed these certain type of guys. And we're wondering, why is he not fighting these type of guys? There's answers there. Top Rank knows what we don't. Maybe there's a reason they're being babied. You know what I mean?
Right there, he says Torres giving me Tommy Morrison vibes. Bro, I can see it, man. Yeah. Entertainer fighter, can knock people out, but could be touched. And like I said, Richard Torres, it's on YouTube. Like he got slept. So you can't really put him in there with I don't know. I don't know what do you put him in there. I'd say put him in there with what's the real big baby, or I don't know who's the real and who's the fake.
They're both babies.
That one, yeah, but the top ranked big baby that's crying about his mental health and that dude, put him in there with that guy, because to me, I don't think that guy's it. And
I don't know why they haven't done that fight. I mean, I guess they're protecting their investment, but yeah. I mean, Anderson is a little further along in his career than Torres is, but
like Charles Martin was putting it on him.
yeah.
So, I mean, I would think Richard Torres is offensively at least is a better than Charles Martin.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, bro, that's like a pretty good fight. So, I mean, what are you waiting for? Those belts are tied up right now, especially with Usyk and Fury, and then they're gonna have a rematch. Both guys have a rematch clause. Like, come on, man! Like, let those guys kind of separate themselves and to see who's more real.
I'm with that, because I mean, even so, I don't see Torres or Anderson beating Usyk or Fury. So let them go at it, man, and see who's going to be the king of the top ranked heavyweights, at least, if nothing else.
Yeah. Especially at least instead of the people they're fighting.
Oh yeah, yeah, because these dudes don't even got pulses half the time, man.
I'm sure they were surprised Charles Martin had a pulse.
Bro, that one surprised me. I didn't expect him to last that damn long. And that, I mean, what does it say? Does it say anything about Charles Martin, or does it say more about Anderson? To me,
I think it says more about Anderson, because I think didn't Charles Martin come in late? Like, wasn't that a late replacement?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And shoot, Charles Martin probably didn't think he was going to go the distance, and like I said, he was hurting Jared Anderson, but just gets to a point, man. You're tired of seeing what's supposed to happen. Like, this guy's in this fight. All right, he's supposed to win. Keyshawn's in a fight. Oh, yep, Keyshawn's on TV because he's the next guy and he's gonna beat this guy easy. Like, come on, man. Give it, like you said, man. Throw them in there with guys with pulses at least.
Yeah. Speaking of pulses, I'm gonna come back to this comment now. Edwin De Los Santos. I mean, you're right. He is dangerous, hella dangerous. Dude's got almost 100% KO ratio. I mean, in his wins at least, because he does have a loss on his record. But he's almost at 100%. He's what is it, 16-1 with 14 knockouts. It's going to be a good one, but I'm excited for it. Not because I think De Los Santos is going to do anything to Shakur, but because how dangerous he is, and I think Shakur is just going to break him down big time. To me, between David Morrell and Shakur Stevenson, those are, to me, the top two fighters in the sport right now. It's those two guys. Gervonta Davis is probably right there, number 3 for me, but Shakur and David Morrell, those are my guys. Like, those are your guys you need to watch. And Shakur is he's gonna show out for De Los Santos because he knows what's at stake for him too. He's right there. These dudes don't really want to fight him. Haney, Lomachenko, all these cats around that area, they don't really want to fight him if they don't have to. So Shakur's got to force it on him, man, and he's got to get the fans behind him. And I think he's gonna put on a hell of a performance against De Los Santos.
Yeah, I'll say this about Shakur. I don't see how you beat Shakur yet, right? Like, he hasn't shown me anything that says, oh, this is the kind of guy that's going to beat Shakur. Whereas, we just saw Keyshawn Davis. All right, I see how Keyshawn loses. He's going to get hit with something big, and he's going to get taken out of there. Like, I would like just like I've seen him hurt. I'm just saying, like, Shakur, I don't see how you beat that guy yet. Like,
right.
Now does De Los Santos test his chin? And possible, but maybe I hold Shakur so high up. This is gonna be a walk in the park. And Shakur, he's got to move up a couple weight divisions before I'm picking against him. Really,
right. And I think,
and maybe I'm too high on him, but
I'm with you.
But I'm just saying, like, from what I've seen so far, his pedigree, Olympic pedigree, what I've seen, he's not going to lose to De Los Santos.
No, he's going to be tested, but he's not going to lose.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to be tested, Felix. Like we thought Oscar Valdez's pressure and whatever would test him. Oh, bro, come on. He made Oscar Valdez look like nothing, and Valdez went on to win a fight. You know, a good fight, and even fight Navarrete pretty good. Like Shakur, I need to see something for me to pick against him, and I haven't seen it yet.
The only way I think I could see somebody beating him is if it would probably be a Devin Haney, to be honest, with his type of style, if he could implement it and stay at the length of his jab and his right hand and just kind of keep Shakur away. I think that might frustrate Shakur a little bit, but I can't really see too many other ways to beat the dude. I mean, he stays in the pocket. He's right there with you, man. And I think he's that dude. He's just right on the cusp of becoming that breakout star.
Yeah. It sucks because I feel like he's looking for it, right? Like, you know, he's trying to fight Frank Martin. He's trying to fight who's ever, you know, available. But yeah, I think there's business decisions being made of why people aren't in a rush to fight him. For me, the fight would be him and Tank, right? Because not many people are standing up to, you know, Tank's left hand.
Right.
And could Shakur? That'd be the question in the fight. Could Shakur? Because Tank could box too, but I don't think he's gonna outbox Shakur. But I would think he lands against him. Now, what does that look like when that happens? You know, they're throwing out what is a Shakur and Navarrete. You know, that awkwardness that Navarrete brings against a purely technical boxer, like maybe that causes some issues for him. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not picking Navarrete over Shakur off the top of my head. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, same. It would be a good fight. Again, like you said, the awkward style, the power, the pressure too of Navarrete, but Shakur he's just on another level. I'm a big fan of his, man. Like I said, between him and David Morrell, those are my two dudes right now. Like if anybody would ask who your favorite fighters in the sport, it's gonna be one of those guys for sure. And of course, you know, Tank is right there too. I think Tank is, you know, one of the best fighters in the game, and him and Shakur, that is the super fight, man. If that fight happens, that one right there is Hagler Hearns. I know the build for Spence and Crawford was Hagler Hearns, but if we get Shakur and Tank, that is definitely Hagler Hearns written all over it right there for sure.
And just to go back to Shakur and Morrell, I think even though they have like the pure boxing talent, I do feel like both guys are killers in that they want to get you out of there. Shakur might not do it like Shakur's. But he tries, he goes for it, and I respect that. Like he doesn't really just sit on his win or, you know, just coast to victory. Like we see him try to get there. He hasn't got it yet, or I mean he's not a knockout puncher, right? Yeah. But he goes for it. He's not coasting, is what I'm saying. And Morrell too. Morrell could probably a bigger puncher, but I think they do a great job of mixing in their skills with their kind of killer instinct and going for it.
Oh yeah, you know, without a doubt. I mean, hopefully we see Morrell back in the ring soon too. It's been the last time we saw him was a first round knockout. It's not like he got a lot of work in. That was back in March, right? Or when was that? That was earlier this year, wasn't it? When Morrell fought? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that on the Plant Benavidez undercard? No, it wasn't.
No, because we were at that one.
It was on the Tank undercard.
Was it?
Yeah, it was on the Tank undercard.
Yeah, you would hope to see him back soon, especially with Andrade and Benavidez fighting.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it was rumored at one point it was going to be Benavidez and Morrell, and we were kind of like, what?
Man.
But I mean, you can't take anything away from Benavidez. He's still fighting another undefeated fighter. But yeah, you would hope to see Morrell, you know, not lose all momentum. I would like to see him fight before the end of the year.
Yeah, I would too, definitely. And I mean, they could squeeze it in at some point. I'm pretty sure he could get in there at the Armory main event, some sort of Showtime card. Especially if Showtime is going away, I think David Morrell is the right guy to send them home. You know what I mean? What was it? It was Clarissa Shields did HBO's last fight. What didn't she? or was it Amanda
Was
Ferrara?
she?
It was a women's fighter who did HBO's last fight. I think David Morales should be Showtime's last televised card if they are out the boxing game. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, you broke the news to me that Boxer signed with Peacock, and I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'm gonna grab another beer. You talk about that announcement real quick.
No, I mean, you told me, and it's like, all right, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, whenever there's boxing on TV, hey, I'm a fan of it. I'm probably gonna tune in. But just Boxer being, from what I know, UK based, I'm like, come on, Peacock. Like, who are you guys consulting with? Because that's not who I want to see on TV.
Right.
You know? And then I feel like that's a misrepresentation because they're gonna put on two Euro bums fighting each other. Nobody's gonna tune in, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, nobody wants to see boxing." It's like,
Exactly. It's
no, that's not the case. I don't want to see Euro bums.
I mean, I did say, I'm sure you could probably go back into the pods and find an episode. If anybody wants to go in there and do some research and find it, feel free. Tell me what episode and timestamp. But I'm pretty sure I called it that Peacock was going to get some form of boxing content on their platform now. I see it with soccer, with wrestling. Think PGA. Peacock is really trying to get a stronghold, and I think this says more about Peacock to me than Boxer, because I think Peacock is really trying to stronghold anything that they can right now, honestly.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I just hope they, having the deal that they have, maybe that'll bring some managers to bring them fighters that we want to see. I don't want to see, Jack says it right there, the 2-0 guy versus 12 and 175 journeyman. Bro, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them trying to sell me some guy from Manchester as the next great when I could pick a homeboy from LA that's going to knock him out.
I'm saying, man, that's what I was saying earlier in the chat room. Let's get a Mexican taxi cab driver versus European journeyman fighter tournament going, and let's find out who the best tomato cans are.
No, but the problem is those Mexican cab drivers beat those European top prospects.
That's true. That's true.
Ask Eddie Hearn about that. How many times on the zone does he have his, European guy fighting at home against homeboy from Tijuana, and how do those fights turn out? It's like,
yeah. That's very true. It's very interesting too when you think about it. Mexico produces the greatest and the worst fighters. When you really think about it, I mean, they've got Chavez, they've got Canelo, they've got Marquez, Lopez, Morales.
And then you got Zurdo Ramirez. Like, yeah, it's the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, true.
I see what you do. I see what you're doing.
Yo, this is good beer, by the way. Barrio Brewing Company. This is called a Hipsterville. This turned into a review segment, I guess. But this is some good beer, man. I don't know much about. I'm not a beer guy, so I don't know much about IPAs and all that stuff. Like normally, just give me a Corona and we'll call it a day. But this is good stuff. Whatever hazy IPA is, it's it.
Hey, I'm excited to try it, man. You send me one, or we'll have a talk with them.
Yeah, for sure. Jack, I see you in the comments, man. I got you a beer here, bro. Let's talk about this weekend.
Well, before we get there, did you see the biggest news of the day in the sport of boxing?
What was that?
Jake Paul returning December 15th.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know Jack and Dakota and Nibs are all excited about that for sure.
Yeah, they're going crazy. No opponent yet, but hey.
You know what's wild though is when I saw that on Twitter earlier, I was like, damn, like Jake Paul really is a big thing in the sport because he don't even need an opponent, but this announcement is huge.
They made the announcement without the opponent. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Like they made the announcement, they had a whole little trailer. Like
right.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he really wants to be a world champion. I respect that. I don't know if he'll ever get there, but he really is. He's really trying to chase it, and I fuck with that, man. I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the twisted, but like, let's be for real. But yeah, no, but you got to respect it, like the self belief or whatever.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a big announcement. I thought the boxer announcement was the biggest one, but I guess the Jake Paul one trumps that one a little bit.
A little bit.
Who do you think he fights?
Man, I don't know. Does he go with like a celeb, someone we know, or does he go with, maybe someone that a top prospect would fight on the come up?
I think he fights I think he fights somebody that people will be like, okay, he fought a real boxer now, because I think he got I think he's done with the UFC stuff, like fighting their guys. I mean, he got the Diaz win. He fought all the other UFC fighters. I think he's done with that gimmick. I think he's going to try to really get in there with somebody who, I mean, has a pulse. We talked about it earlier, but I think he's going to try to fight somebody like that.
So let's see. Zurdo fought what, a couple weeks ago or a week ago?
That's true.
I'd love to see it, bro. I would love to see it. And that fight's closer than all of you think. I don't care what you guys say. That fight is close. Gabriel Rosado. Ooh.
Gabriel's retired, though. He announced his retirement.
Oh, but hey, there's enough zeros. There's enough zeros in a Jake Paul fight to make anyone.
That's true. That's true. And hey, I did see just real quick to talk about, we're always throwing Edgar Berlanga under the bus, so to speak. And we got respect for Edgar Berlanga. Don't get it twisted. But Gabriel Rosado recently, he had said something. I'm gonna have to find his tweet. I've been quoting Twitter a lot without actually knowing what the hell they're talking about tonight. Next time I'm gonna be prepared with screenshots. But Gabe said something about Berlanga recently that makes me think that they're not working in the gym together anymore. On a good note, either. I'm gonna have to find that tweet and send that to you. Interesting. Random.
I would like Berlanga to like cash in on what he's built up, man. Like,
me too.
I don't think he's the best fighter. I think he loses to a lot of people, but like, take that momentum that you built and at least go out like on a high note, right? Because he still has a name, right? You could sell a fight him against somebody that good. I'd rather that than just him losing to a 30 and 15 guy that's just the better fighter,
Hey, this is true too. And if you remember, Top Rank billed Kermit Cintron as like the next Felix Trinidad and Miguel Cotto and all that stuff. Same way they did Berlanga. It must be something with Top Rank that they really, really want to have a strong arm on Puerto Rican fighters every single time. I mean,
look, like I love the rivalry. I love the Mexico-Puerto Rican rivalry. And, but Puerto Rico, you gotta provide something like to keep that rivalry going. And I feel like Top Rank has tried. I feel like they're constantly looking for that next superstar. And then like we're just okay, hey Shakur, you're Puerto Rican too, so like let's lean on that because nothing else is working, right? Like
right.
None of these other guys are working out. But I do feel like when the sport's at its best, there's a great Puerto Rican fighter. And I kind of feel like Berlanga was supposed to be that guy. Now Xander may be that guy. But I don't believe in either of them. And, come on, because it makes the sport so much better when you have a Tito, Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto against everybody that he fought. And he fought everybody. I just feel like, we haven't really got a great Puerto Rican fighter in a while.
We haven't. And the Puerto Rican crowd is just, that crowd is ridiculous, man. They are ridiculous. Even when I was in the theater for it was a Xander and Edgar doubleheader, the theater at MSG, bro, they were nuts in there. That was like the craziest crowd I've ever been a part of. I've been to some crazy shows. I'm talking about every show I've ever been to, including WWE shows, including WrestleMania. That crowd at the theater at MSG for Berlanga and Xander was just nuts. And so boxing is a Puerto Rican star.
Throw that last comment on, because I honestly, because he hasn't, I guess to me, he hasn't even been promoted like that. I didn't even realize Matias was Puerto Rican.
Right. There we go. That's our guy right there.
Yeah, and he's fighting in a good fight. What is that on the Benavidez card?
Jack, you throw it up. He's the one that told us about it in the first place, but he'll have the information. He'll put it up there right now.
But yeah, Matias, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the guy right there.
That's who they should be supporting. That's who, and it's not even supporting, like support all your guys, but that's the guy that should be representing. Like
right.
Matias is mean, knockout power. You know, his last fight we saw, yeah, maybe he looked like he was gonna get taken out, and then, bro, just everything, he overwhelmed the other dude. So
yeah, Benavidez,
and you know, and it is on that card, bro. That's a really good card.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's to build Benavidez up, but I feel like Benavidez is going to be on the 2 best cards of the year.
He is. He without a doubt is.
Like he's going to be headlining the 2 best cards of the year because even his first fight against Plant, bro, I thought that undercard was stacked. And then this one and this one's stacked, you know. And maybe that is to get more eyes on him, but shoot, whoever's drawing up those Benavidez cards, they need to be drawing up every card.
Right. Yeah. No, that was a hell of. I mean, this year alone, PBC's been putting out some good ones, for sure. I think the Spence Crawford. What was on that? Anything even stood out to you on that card?
Oh, Spence Crawford.
I think that one was boring, if I remember correctly. But other than Spence Crawford, I think everything else was good.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just know that Plant Benavidez card. That was a really fun card. Rayo and
oh, bro, yeah.
And Colbert, and man, they should be rematching soon. I hope. I see God out. I hope they're in camp, and I'm hoping for that gets thrown on one of these November, December cards. And then he says, Figs, my boy Figs, gonna be fighting. He said he's fighting on the 25th, and if that's the Ray Vargas card or Ray Vargas fight, bro, that's a really fun card.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's definitely. I'm gonna buy this one for sure. Hey, and I'm on a roll, man. I bought every PBC pay-per-view card this year.
Look at you go.
You want
to thank Al Heyman where we're at?
Shout out Al Heyman. You should be shouting me out after I've been supporting his company that's losing its deal with Showtime right now.
Man, I hope they need to pick that up somewhere.
Yeah, I know somebody's got to pick it. Hey, hopefully Peacock. Make sure you guys reach out to Al Heyman too, man.
I realize like you don't want to put up maybe your own money or you don't want to be at too much of a risk, but like I honestly I feel like with how like Boxer and DAZN, if there was just a dedicated PBC app, I don't see how that fails.
Right. I don't either.
I don't know, but I mean I get it. It's easier if you're using someone else's money.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad at that if like PBC had their own platform.
I wouldn't. I mean, I would subscribe. I'm pretty sure they'd make it fairly reasonable, or at least competitive with all the other streaming apps.
Yeah, I mean, just think of like we have DAZN. What if PBC? If we instead of DAZN we have PBC, and they show up and just if they use that same model that we had their library of fights, we had their fights on Fridays or whatever. Sometimes they have during the week fights. And then we got their pay-per-views. Like, as long as that's not priced crazy, I think that's the successful.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I think it'll work, man. I think they could do it. And if what Andre Berto says today seems like he's got something up his sleeve. Al Heyman has been in the game for a long time. I don't think he's nervous at all. And I don't think us as boxing fans should be nervous at all either. I know Showtime getting away from boxing is not what we want to see or hear, but Al Heyman's been in the business, in the entertainment business for a very long time. Not just boxing, just entertainment as a whole. He gets the big picture. So whatever
I
PBC
mean,
is going to be good.
that's Al Heyman. That's a Harvard graduate, right? Or I believe in entertainment with years of concerts and all that on the boxing. Like you're dealing with a very smart guy.
Right.
So that's where I'm holding my hope. Like, hey, he's gonna figure this out, and we're not gonna lose boxing completely. So
he's gonna make it happen for sure. Something is gonna. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen, and the best thing about it all is we're gonna find out pretty soon. Obviously, and yeah, we already have a ton of platforms to show fights on. But hey, the more the merrier, right? I mean, the more coverage we get of the sport, the better. At the end of the day, not what we want to see. Ideally,
yeah, but I feel like I do feel like they have to be done right.
Yeah.
Like
if there was
I know he mentioned the zone. Like sometimes the zone's really bad, and maybe that's just me. But like commentators and that, it's like, come on, you gotta. I don't know.
And that's the only thing that hurts the sport is that there's not the one brand, there's not the one look. If I watch Showtime, I get an experience that Showtime provides. If I watch the Zone, I get the experience they provide, which isn't, the best or ideal. Casual fans probably don't care, probably don't even know what a Mauro Ranallo is or a Jim Lampley is. But you know what I mean? But there's a look and a style that you get used to with the sport.
The production, to me, production matters. And maybe to some people it doesn't, but HBO. Towards the end of HBO, I hated HBO. I thought Lampley crying every week, Lampley hoping Triple G turned out to be the best fighter ever. Like that wore me down. Like, come on, man. But at the end of the day, that HBO music playing,
bro,
that HBO
24/7.
The view, the aerial view of the Las Vegas Strip.
Yes.
Talking over it, I felt like I was watching something important, historic. Right. And I don't feel like the Zone offers that. I don't feel like ESPN offers that. Showtime, I feel is close, so that's why I think it's a big deal. Like, dang, if we lose Showtime, then what?
Right.
But I mean, invest in the production. That's what I would say. I don't need the build-ups when they talk to fighters for 20 minutes and I'm watching the same thing over and over. But just that simple boom, a hard-hitting track playing while you're showing the Las Vegas Strip, while you're showing them driving. I remember they used to always show the cars, the Escalade driving down the strip, and you have the aerial view of the drone, like, oh, there's the world champ headed to the arena. Like, bro, to me, that's sold me.
Yeah, I miss all that.
Something big.
Right, I miss all that. HBO used to do it like no other, man. They had their entrance video, and there was a few fighters that you would see, and they're like, oh, I know that guy. He's like a contender. You know what I mean? There was a friend of the program, Donald Griffin, was in one of the videos, like Boxing After Dark or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then right after that video is the aerial shot of Las Vegas, and they always had that one shot for like the championship fights at Mandalay Bay. It was always from that same hotel room at Mandalay Bay. They also had that one visual, and yeah, HBO, man, I miss the production big time.
The motorcade, that's what I was looking for. The motorcade when it's coming down, Las Vegas. Yeah. Floyd lived in Las Vegas, so I always remember the Floyd motorcade. Floyd is on his way to the arena now, and you see 5 blacked out SUVs. You're like, dang, it's going down. It's something simple like that, but man, it made the fight seem so much bigger.
It did, man. I miss the HBO production. It was great.
I think Showtime offers that too. I think Showtime did that. That's why I'm talking about this, because if we lose Showtime, I don't feel like anyone else offers that.
If it's the last bit of old school style boxing that we have, if we lose Showtime, you know what I mean? That's done. You know what I mean? It's all kind of the new generation of, all the streaming stuff. Showtime is the last one. And nobody else is offering, the way Showtime offers all access. HBO offer 24/7. ESPN's not doing anything. Obviously, they did the Andre Ward documentary, but Andre's retired. You know what I mean?
But who does offer that?
We do.
That guy.
You baby. Make sure you guys take a look at some of the documentaries, by the way. We're not just a podcast. We are the best podcast. We're not just the best podcast. Make sure you tune in. OnlyFans, we got a lot of stuff. Go to our website as well, Instagram. You can find us everywhere. But yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to just plug it. Go watch Fight Life, Elijah Garcia right now. That was one of my favorite projects to put together. Spent a lot of time with the family, but go check that out, man. Get familiar with Elijah. We were talking about the middleweight division earlier, and I think he's one that's going to clean it up or be a main player in that division at least.
Oh, definitely main player. Janabek's there, and I think Elijah Garcia is there. You know.
Oh yeah.
You got the Jamal Charlo, but you know Adames. I think Elijah Garcia is ready for those guys right now. Like I said, we watched Janabek. Record looks great, all that, but like who he was in against, it really didn't show me anything.
Yeah, nah.
So like Janabek, maybe the guy, but you know, I feel like Elijah Garcia is right on that cusp too. And you know, just hearing him talk, hearing the family talk, the team talk, I feel like they're pushing for it. And you know, if you want to know more or you see more, like Felix said, you know, OnlyFans TV, the Fight Life, Elijah Garcia, real good work, man.
Hey, and also another announcement too. We're talking about Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. If you guys go to YouTube, go watch the. If you like HBO 24/7 and Showtime All Access, if you're watching right now, go watch ITR 365. Same exact experience and vibe that you're gonna get. Ray could probably tell you. I'm giving you a inside looking out because I put the video together. But the reason I bring this up is the fighter on that episode, Edward Ceballos. He, picked up the win for that fight that they had there that we covered for that episode, and he actually landed on the undercard now for David Benavidez and Andrade. So
really, bro, that's breaking news. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's going to be on that undercard in Vegas in November. So hey, shout out to Nano, man. Excited for you, happy for you, man. I'm not going to be out there for that. That's what Thanksgiving week, I think. But
Thanksgiving's Thursday, bro. What do you need to do? You need to go Black Friday shopping?
Hey, man, I won't be there for that, but I'll be there to support Nano for sure in spirit. And I'm pretty sure I'll be up in Phoenix filming something with you before that fight. So if you're watching, man, shout out to Nano, man. I'm excited that you got on that undercard, bro. Put Arizona, do us proud, bro, for sure.
As an Arizona insider,
yeah.
Any chance Elijah fights before the end of the year?
No, he's done for the rest of the year. Okay. He's thinking early next year, but he's gonna have there'll be a title fight next year sometime.
I'm not mad at it, Elijah. Hey man, enjoy the holidays, right? Like,
yeah,
it worked out. You get to celebrate that Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're 100% behind. And yeah, man, I think I see your vision. Since Felix started dealing with you every day, I see your vision and entertaining, and you can't wait to see you push it further.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And I think what Jack said right here too, if you fought that guy before Janabek, free
bro. I think Jack said it. I think we were all thinking it. That might have been the worst title holder in the sport.
It was next to
Raleigh. Don't do that.
Next to Raleigh. If he was number one, then Raleigh's number two.
Bro, at least Romero could punch, right?
Yeah.
Romero could punch. If he hits you, there's a chance.
But I mean, think about the fight that he won. I mean, he was getting rocked against his grandfather, bro. Like, thought that was getting him out of there, man. Like, that was a tough fight.
I mean, I'm with you. But homeboy that fought Janabek offered nothing.
Right. Like nothing at all. That was
at least Romero. Maybe the fight shouldn't have been stopped, but they were legit knockdowns. Like, at least he offered that. Homeboy that fought Saturday against Janabek, nah, bro,
nothing.
He said a free belt for Elijah. That could have been a free belt for my boy Swift. That could have been a free belt for Terrence Crawford. You could have jumped 2 weight divisions and got a belt, bro.
Right. Straight up.
That was a belt waiting to be taken.
Yeah. No, That was pretty sad. I think it was Jack that said that, but hey, I wasn't mad at it because it was pretty damn true. I think that was probably the worst world champion I've seen since Charles Martin. Honestly, real quick, we didn't really touch on all the fights. We don't have a format for this show. We just kind of go on. Real quick, we got this weekend Joshua Buatsi versus Dan Aziz, WBA light heavyweight title eliminator. That is going to be on ESPN Plus on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Jack Catterall versus Jorge Linares, 12 rounds, junior welterweight. On the zone, also on the zone, Alexis Rocha versus Giovanni Santillan, 12 rounds welterweight. John Ramirez, Ronald Bautista, 12 rounds WBA junior bantamweight title eliminator bout. That's all we got this weekend. Nothing really major that stands out. I guess Alexis Rocha, Jack Catterall, Jorge Linares. It's kind of a weird fight. Kind of a journeyman fight. I feel like Linares is maybe more on the decline than Catterall is.
I feel like
probably rock with
I feel
Catterall.
like that's two journeymen. Hey, you win this fight. Did you get a shot at one of the up and comers?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, none of those fights really excited me. I think, luckily, this weekend there's a UFC card. It's in. Look at Jack right there, bro. It is. Luckily, if you're a boxing fan, this fight is gonna be during the day. They're overseas, but really good card.
Who is it?
It's there's gonna be Usman and Chimaev. So I think the winner is gonna get a shot at the title. And then their title fight fell through. So it's a rematch between Islam and Alexander Volkanovski, who had a hell of a fight. They were champion versus champion. Volk had gone up in weight. Some say got robbed. And now he kind of fell his way into a rematch, like on 2 weeks' notice. So, hey, it's going down.
Sounds like it'll be. I'm familiar with Usman. Sounds like it'll be entertaining.
Yeah, so
definitely show up to a bar and watch that type of fight.
Yeah, and it it's like I said, I think it's in Saudi, so it'll be one of those midday fights.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, not mad at it.
I think the last UFC card I watched at a bar, and they get live, man. UFC crowds UFC events bring in the crowds for sure at bars. But it's been a minute, man. It was the McGregor Diaz rematch that I watched there at a Hooters. I think that was the last time I went to a bar to watch a fight. But it's always fun, man. The UFC crowd.
This would be one, bro. At least I just know the co-main and main. So there's probably 3 more cards on that pay-per-view. But yeah, if you can watch this one, I think they're putting on one of their best cards of the year.
So yeah, I was just about to say, if you're still in the comments, bro, if you're still in the chat, this might be a Ojos Locos kind of weekend, bro.
Ojos Locos lunch.
By the way, this ain't a shot, but it's a beer. I know I owe you some shots, but maybe I could get some credit towards the shots. So I drank 2 beers for you, bro.
Yeah. You should talk to Ojos too. I'll rock some Ojos gear.
Man. Yeah, seriously. Hey, Ojos Locos, you'll be hearing from us soon too. You'll be hearing from our legal team pretty soon. Check your email. Hey, I think that's about it, man. All right, Nibs, I got you. All 4 shots. You're gonna have me on here on the podcast talking like Ric Flair in the '80s, bro. It's gonna be entertaining when that does happen finally. I'm gonna come on your guys' show and give you your shots. I'm not gonna embarrass us on Monday nights, the A show. But I think that's it, bro. It's been a good show, man.
Hey, I never do this, but I feel like I've done it a couple times. But like, man, hey, y'all don't realize how much hitting that little like button helps. Yeah, telling a friend to tell a friend to watch it, whether you think I know what I'm talking about or whether you think I'm an idiot. Hey, let's do it.
Exactly. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Throwing us questions. It helps us keep the show rocking. and subscribe. Turn on that little bell notification so you can see we do live podcasts every Monday night, every Friday night, and sometimes we'll do a random one on a Saturday here and there. We're gonna have some super shows coming pretty soon too. Those are always fun. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in again. Ray, that's about it, man. Peace, y'all. Till next week.